Are you feeling more optimistic about the state of Canada's economy?
I'm more encouraged when I walk around here and I see stores and lots of people around here. I'm encouraged. When I fly, when I take the train, airports are getting more full. Uh, I'm very encouraged in comparison to 2 years ago.
You should have confidence that things will work out. It's all a global thing, and that in England things are starting to settle down, that interest rates have gone up, but they are going to go down again. But I think they don't know what to do. If they put interest rates up, then inflation goes up. And if they keep interest rates low, then there's not very much growth. So it's about getting the balance right. And it's not easy. No one's got the magic wand. No one's got all the answers. But I think everyone's doing the right thing. They're trying to do it right.
I think we'll be fine. Usually it's an ebb and flow, So right now we're kind of unfortunately heading, towards the downhill. But I think give it some more years, I think we'll just kind of turn back around, So I'm optimistic.
I see packages getting smaller and prices going up every day. The economy, it's going to get back to where it was eventually. But I think the shift of people's attitudes towards full-time work, that's going to play into it a lot.
There seems to be some issues at play here, particularly with respect to supply and the logistics of supply, that make it a bit more complicated in terms of what the outcomes will be for inflation. So, I've seen the predictions that have suggested that inflation rates are going to go down over the next 12 to 16, 18 months. And I'm comfortable to believe that will be the general trend. However, at the same time, I'm really aware of how many Canadians have really been adversely affected, and the big impact this has on anybody driving cars, anybody trying to go to the grocery store and get food at reasonable prices. And I myself have been forced to really look carefully at the price of everything.
Well, I think we have to give it a chance. Post-pandemic, it's 3 years where the whole world was under this situation, supply chains. So maybe wait and see. I don't think it's going to stay this way. I think it's going to come down, but it'll take time. You can't just bounce back right away. So I guess I'm optimistic.
Okay, the economy is good. As far as housing and rental units, that's a big problem. It's almost a crisis, and I think the government should really, all three governments should attack that.
We're becoming a very expensive place to live. It's not affordable for the general public, and especially in bigger cities. The rents are really high, mortgages are unreachable, so that's just tough. That's really tough for people.
The rising cost of living is making it very hard for young people like me to find somewhere to live. Wages have remained fairly stagnant, but everything else has gotten more and more expensive with inflation and everything that comes with that.
I'm a little scared. I mean, I'm not in a bad position myself, but I think so many people are really overextended with credit, and the housing market is crazy. I don't know how average Joes can even afford an apartment. Like in Vancouver, over $1 million for a cheap apartment, and you can't afford it. Making a couple $100,000 a year, you can't afford that. So I don't know how it's going to carry on like that.
I think we've got a future. I think we might hit a bit of a downturn for a while, but that's affected by, as you say, climate change, war in Ukraine, American policies. But I'm pretty optimistic about the future.
I'm feeling optimistic. Yeah, I think we're at a pretty low point now, and we were at a pretty low point before, but I think there's room to grow, which is encouraging. I would just say, it's unfortunate that there's so many external events that are really affecting the economy that Canada doesn't really have that much control over, like the war in Ukraine, supply chain issues. So I think just trying to, align our domestic policies in a way that just dampens the effects of those. But I am worried about increasing interest rates, and I don't know the effect that will have on my ability to buy a house in the future or something like that. Yeah.
I'm actually not feeling that optimistic about the state of Canada's economy. More from a long-term perspective, I'm a little concerned that we aren't doing the things that make the country more productive, that put all these new people we're bringing into the country to work. I'm concerned about our long-term prospects. I think we need to be focused more on growth.
Can't honestly say. I mean, my RSPs aren't doing anything that are making me, smile too much. So, and I live in Vancouver, and Vancouver's a challenge when it comes to finding affordable housing and those kind of things. And of course, food prices are a general concern for everybody.